So this is Christmas.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
And a happy new year.
I was about to press record.
You already did
the intro
record.
button. I got to press the intro button.
Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna Lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. My name is Matt. Jenna, introduce yourself, damn it.
I'm Jenna.
Merry friggin' Christmas, people. Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. This podcast is all about implementing behavior change for your long-term wellness and happiness.
You're about to spill your eggnog.
I have eggnog in my hand. I'm pretty fired up that it's Christmas Eve. Let's take a little sip there. So, before we dive into the show, if you want to do us a favor before the New Year's rolls around, leave us an iTunes review, whether we suck, whether we're great. Hit us with it. We want to know. Today we're talking about Christmas and mental health. I got to be honest, I don't want to go down the route that most people go with Christmas and be like, oh, it's all about the season to love. Like, I want this to be a little different, because that shit's been done. All right, I'm over that. So stay tuned, folks. I hope this is going to be a good one. This one, screw that. This is going to be a good one. And I'm wondering, this episode comes out at 5:30 in the morning, so I'm wondering, by the time you're listening to this, where the hell are you? Huh? Are you driving? You thinking about Christmas tonight? Some of you might celebrate tonight. Some of you might celebrate tomorrow. You thinking about going to see Aunt Lorraine and just how miserable of a person she is? Don't worry about it. We got some answers for you, okay? We got some answers on how to deal with her.
Sorry, Aunt Lorraine. We just called you out.
It is what it is. Yeah, Jenna, how you feeling? How do you feel about this topic? As usual, Jenna lately has been coming up with these topics. She's done a really good job.
And I think we're going to have some differing views.
I think you're right
on this subject,
Mm-hmm.
which is just fine.
I'm good with it.
Just remember, I'm right.
So moving on. Hold on one second. I got to find something while we're still recording. Actually, what did he? Here you go.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
That's one of the greatest things ever.
Yep.
So we're probably going to get popped for that copyright claims. But Jenna, why don't you start this off?
You gotta hit the button.
It's time for the gratitude point, folks. If you're new to this, at the top of every show, we hit you with our gratitude point, something that we are grateful for. It could be big, could be small. The whole goal of it is to shift your perspective, and we just find it very beneficial and use it in our everyday lives. I'm going to make you go first.
Okay, good. In the spirit of Christmas Eve, I'm thankful for, what is that?
There's a little chip, a little microchip.
Oh, okay.
Microchip? It's an SD card. I don't know why I called it a microchip. Sorry. That really got to us. Go ahead.
I'm thankful for the simple Christmas traditions that we've built together, Matt and I, over the years. Watching old Christmas movies, and I'm known for not being able to wait until Christmas to give gifts. As evidenced by already giving Matt 2 of his gifts today. And even though that sounds kind of silly, like that's just a Christmas tradition of ours.
It really of yours, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ours too, but
totally
yours.
Now when I give you a gift, I mean, I'm just keeping with tradition. It's not that I can't wait to give it to you.
Yeah, Jenna's the type of person that loves giving gifts, not necessarily receiving gifts.
I do. I love, especially giving things to Matt. And it's hard when I get something and he could really use it before Christmas. And that's why I usually end up giving him those gifts early.
It's actually quite funny. Before we hopped on this recording, I was like, crap, I need an SD card. And Jenna's like, I have one. So you're able to see this footage. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're able to see this because of Jenna. So thanks, Jenna. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Hey, very nice reference. Very nice. I should pull that up too to get this for sure flagged. Well, I'm happy to have nostalgia. I got a family full of drunk.
Wait, I thought you hated nostalgia.
Stop. You know what I mean. So there was a clip I posted on IG a while back, but no, I'm happy to have nostalgia for certain reasons. I'm happy to be able to have nostalgia. I mean, some individuals don't have nostalgia pieces built into Christmas. The idea of Christmas and the consumerism piece drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I'm fully against it. The piece behind it for me is nostalgia. I mean, growing up as a kid, that was, one of the happiest times because all of my family was together at that time. Mm-hmm. We have a bunch of little micro families and, it was a really good time. So to be able to look back and have those memories is great because I know not everybody has that.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is getting into the content, but do you remember... So you remember the time you spent with the people you love?
1,000%.
Do you remember what gifts they gave you?
Absolutely not. No. I mean,
Perfect.
not like for, well, I take that back. If I remembered gifts, it was gifts that usually had some sort of family meaning. Like my middle brother, he bought me a skateboard and we both got into skateboarding at the same time. And we did that every Friday night. It was the gift that keeps on giving. It was so totally a family oriented thing. It wasn't just like, here's a thing. And to this day, I remember that skateboarding and the time we hung out skateboarding. Oh my God, nostalgia. I need some more eggnog. Go ahead.
Well, and I think that's a good segue into the actual content of, focusing on keeping your mental health right around the holidays, because a lot of times, whatever it is in particular for you, the listener, there's always seems to be a little bit of a struggle in a unique way for everyone, I think. Whether it's, there's a family member you've lost or a family member that's still there.
Yeah.
Or, a financial piece or whatever it is, no matter how incredibly wonderful the holidays are, I think there's always some sort of struggle on some level with just about everybody.
Well, and hell, I know for some people, Christmas is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stress involved with Christmas, I think. And I think that's because it's overdone. I think that's because I'll be honest with you, I can't stand driving from house to house. And I know it's a common thing now to drive from house to house and it drives me nuts.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
I got to tell you that, the only time that I do it is when I truly want to go see those people.
Yeah.
Like last year we went and saw Craig Kahn. We hung out with my parents. If I want to go see those people, it's totally different. But I feel like people drudge house to house and just be like, hey, how you doing? That's a good gift. I love you. Goodbye. Like screw that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. So I think that's a good place to start as far as having those toxic family members.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a realization that I had not too long ago is, there's mental health is very much in the forefront of conversations now, and that's not always been the case. But that doesn't mean that people haven't struggled with mental health for a long time. You
said that earlier. You felt like even 10 years ago, like 2009, 2010, it was talked about less. And yeah. It was talked about much more than it was, say, in the 50s and whatnot, but still talked about less then.
Yeah, and that doesn't take away from, there's always been toxic family members. There's always been somebody or a group of people in the family who have decided to protect themselves over spending time with those particular family members that just really give them anxiety or just are super toxic.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to realize that as you get older, you know, Aunt Lorraine, who didn't hang out with the family as much as you thought she did.
For the record, Aunt Lorraine is not a real person. This kind of made them up.
Yeah. It gives you different perspective as you get older and become an adult and realize that Aunt Lorraine wasn't the weird one who stayed away. She was probably staying away for her own mental health, even though, you know, when we were kids, it wasn't really talked about.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I will say on the flip side of that, so I know many people that, again, I've already sort of alluded to this, but I know many people that do Christmas and they're like, yep, got to get together with a family or got to be with the in-laws. Legit. If these people are toxic to you, I say screw them. Seriously. And there's a big difference there. If it's, you know, oh, there's that one uncle, he's fun, but he's kind of bothersome. That's different. I'm talking about someone that's toxic. Somebody you get around and you feel anxious. Somebody you get around and there's nothing but negativity. I've left people in my life because of negativity in my family. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. I mean, I'm going to do what is best for me if you are toxic around me. And I do the same thing if it was a friend or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of the other, a big struggle with the holidays is always striving for that perfect holiday, the one that you look back on forever.
That's a good point.
And I know, especially from a woman's standpoint, you know, I've stressed myself out the couple of times that we've done like a big holiday event at our house. You know, the house has to look perfect. The
2013, we did that.
Yeah,
I have a video up on YouTube about that. It's not on Matt and Fitness. It's on a channel called Lane Li Pro. If you're feeling nerdy, it was actually a good video. Go ahead.
But you know, you want all the gifts to be perfectly under the tree and everything to be decorated just perfectly, and the meal to be just perfect. And I got to tell you, the person that is striving for that perfect Christmas is not going to have that perfect Christmas because you're stressing yourself out. You're not allowing yourself to just enjoy the time. Like, hey, you know, the green bean casserole didn't come out of the oven the same time the sweet potato casserole did. Who cares?
Yeah, screw it.
Like, enjoy your family. Enjoy the family that you are trying to be with.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the day. Just let it go and enjoy the time that you have with your family, with your friends, with the people that you've surrounded yourself with today on Christmas Eve and tomorrow on Christmas Day, and just enjoy the day.
One of the dogs just farted. Just so you know. Audience, just so you know. Go ahead.
And I think another part of that is just slowing down and enjoying it rather than just rushing through. Like, we have 6 things on the agenda for everyone to do today, and we got to get it done, and we're a half hour late to do the second thing. Just slow down and enjoy the day. Who cares if you're a little bit late? You know, this is time to enjoy the people that you love. If they truly love you, they're not going to judge you for being a little late, or, you know, the pie being a little burnt around the edges, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, so you had me thinking there, and I think that some people might even have family that they're not close with. They don't ever talk to them. They don't see them, but they don't have a problem with them. To me, if you're legitimately not close, neither one of you add value to each other's lives. I don't understand why people get together one time a year and then you're at the party and they're like, oh my God, it's been so long. You look great. We got to get together for a barbecue next week. And then that shit never happens. I don't understand that. You know, and I don't believe that everybody agrees with that. I know that some of my own family wouldn't agree with that, but, I mean, point blank, there's some family that I don't even text happy birthday because you're not in my life. I'm not in your life. And it's not bad, but why would I take that time to be like, hey, happy birthday or Merry Christmas? Like, no, I don't give a shit. Like, have a happy birthday. Sure. But I mean, you're not in my life. And some of my friends are more family than my own family. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. And I think that people go in seasons of their life. Maybe it will come back around where you are close to that family. But I don't know. I think it's more of a slap in the face to have family that you never see for one day out of the year. You're like, oh my God, we got to get together, when you know damn well you're not getting together. Does that make sense?
It does.
That's how I feel.
But I also think it's truly possible to love the family that you have, but you live farther away or you have your own busy lives, and it's a time to catch up and enjoy each other. Maybe not go out of your way to spend money and impress them, but just to spend family time together, I think is absolutely acceptable. But I do agree. It depends on really what your motive is.
It depends on the person, 1,000%. My Uncle Ron, I love that man to death. I mean, I love being around him. We're in a different age bracket. We're just but I love hanging out with him. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's different. Now, if it's a cousin that you just never see and you don't add anything, you can't even hold a conversation at Christmas, screw that. That's just how I feel. So... Sorry, bah humbug. I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't know.
I think you're more like Scrooge than you realize.
Well, look, here, cheers to you. If you're in my inner circle, if you're listening right now, I am raising my eggnog to you. If you're in my inner circle, if you're my friend and not even my family, or if you're my family, Craig Kahn, Craig Gafford, Andy, Rich, Kiana, Holden, Bree, Jenna.
No, I was going to say, where am I on this list?
Josh, Colt, James, Andrew Martin. And if you weren't just mentioned in that circle, you may be still in the circle, but towards the outer rim. I love you. And cheers to the eggnog there. Here's the deal. This year, we're doing our first Friendsmas.
Yeah.
Or no, we already did, right? At the time of this recording?
Yeah, when this comes out, we'll have already done our
we already did. Okay.
Friendsmas.
Well, it was great. We loved it.
But, I think you bring up a good point that we both know that that's a true statement, because Friendsmas at the time of this recording is actually going to happen tomorrow, but by the time this comes out, it'll have been last week. But we already know we're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
It's going to be relaxed. It's going to be chill. And if somebody's forgotten something absolutely essential, it's not going to be a big deal.
If you got an Andy, he'll probably go buy it for you. Love you, Andy.
But I think that's the most important part, is knowing that we're just here to hang out with each other and spend time with people that we care about and enjoy spending time with, even if it's not doing something absolutely epic. We're literally getting together to watch a Christmas movie that only one of us has seen.
Yeah, and Rich doesn't want to see it at all because it's in black and white.
Yeah, none of us have seen It's a Wonderful Life except for Andy.
Craig's probably seen it.
So I don't think he has.
Okay.
I think we went through last week and none of us have seen it except for Andy.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I could be wrong.
The audience doesn't care, so go ahead.
But I think that's really in a nutshell, the true spirit of Christmas right there, is just being with the people that you love, enjoying time together, reflecting on things that you're grateful for, that you're thankful for, reflecting on your blessings, and not being so worked up about impressing people that really don't matter at the end of the day.
That's a good segue into the gifts part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. That's a good point of, this is the time of a year where a lot of people go into debt and impressing people or trying to get the gift.
Yeah.
And I've done it. I mean, I remember the first Christmas that we were together.
We both did it.
We had only been together for a couple of months, and I was like, I'm going to buy his love with all of these Christmas presents. And it was actually one of the most disappointing Christmases.
Why?
Well, because I bought you all that stuff, and you were like, thanks. Like, I so overdid it.
Wait, was it? Obviously, it was impactful because I completely forget.
It wasn't even because you want practical gifts.
Yeah.
I didn't know him well enough to know that yet. So I bought all these like outlandish things, like really expensive sunglasses.
You buy like a crossbow or some shit.
I have done that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Um,
Go ahead. I'm not a hunter. It doesn't make any sense. Here's a crossbow.
well, we were into The Walking Dead at the time, so it had some significance.
And we went through a weird point in our life where we were like all into survivalism, and we had like parachutes and like jetpacks, and we have a bulletproof vest. It's ridiculous. It's like Red Dawn over here. Go ahead.
But the thing is, a year later, you don't remember, or 10 years later, you don't remember those gifts that you got or you gave that you went into debt for. You remember the memories and the time that you spent together and that nostalgia. And I think that's a really important point to take away is stop making the holidays about impressing people that you don't see the rest of the year.
Yeah. You just sprung a thought. Another portion in this show is Matt's ADD moment. I need to make a little sound clip for that.
You do.
I really do. I don't know what this one is. Matt's ADD moment. That was really good, actually. I didn't know that was the sound effect there. Oh, hell, I forgot what it was. And spitting back to the show.
I think that was perfect.
Yeah, I forgot. No, I remembered. I hope that you have a friend or a family member that you can just totally be yourself. You can be so comfortable, so chill. There's not an expectation. And my God, how cool is that? Like, how good of a feeling is that? I think that if you can capture that at Christmas time, that crushes any gifts or anything you can do. I think especially if it's not perfect. And I think back to, this is a little off topic, but it's not. It's the same concept that my brother, and you did the same thing. My brother gave me a card one year, and it was very, screw it, I'll tell your story. You gave me good Lord, Matt.
I can't even help you because I don't know what you're about to say.
It's too much sugar in the eggnog. Stop, think, speak. When it's not perfect is when it's memorable. There you go. You gave me a cake one year when I was well of age not to get the cake, that it had dinosaurs on it. And what'd you say that the homegirl said at the bakery?
I bought it from a bakery, and I'm checking out, and the girl's like, "Oh my goodness, some little boy is going to have the best birthday." And I was like, "You don't even know."
He's 23. No, but that was the funniest crap ever. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when it is imperfect, it's so much more memorable. You always remember those times.
Yeah.
And my brother, he got me a card one year that was along the same lines of like, "You're 6, congratulations." So you made me think of that. So back to the show.
Yeah, those are more memorable.
Without a doubt.
The laughs,
See?
not the perfect
Correct.
presents. And I think segueing into my next point, several years ago, so Matt's birthday is 2 weeks before Christmas, and several years ago, I think it was for your 25th birthday, I had that big surprise party here.
Oh yeah.
And so I knew that there was going to be like 50 people at the house. And so, of course, what makes a house feel bigger with 50 people in it? A lot more Christmas decorations and stuff everywhere. I spent weeks collecting all kinds of Christmas decorations, going overboard, spending so much money. And I remember cleaning up that year after Christmas, and I was like, oh, God. Why did I do this?
Yeah.
And then the next year I'm like, well, I have to put it out because I spent so much money on it last year. And it took me like a day and a half. And I was like, ugh, this sucks. And now that it's dwindled down to just a few things that are still working 5 years later, I love it so much more.
Yeah.
It's just very simple. The house isn't full of Christmas stuff, and I can actually enjoy it.
I feel friggin' claustrophobic a few years ago. All this
it
garland and all this shit everywhere.
It was too much.
It was too much.
And it started with, I just love Christmas. But then it just kept getting bigger and bigger because I was like, I have to show all these people that I I've got Christmas spirit.
Yeah. Yep. It's unnecessary. It really
Absolutely.
is. Speaking of Aunt Lorraine, just found a little clip that reminded me. So if you do have to go see her, if you need to express anything, this is what you could tell her.
And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep doing that throughout the show, but my family and I laugh about that and always say every year, where's the Tylenol? We say it throughout the year. Not that you give a crap, but this is my podcast, so listen to me.
Yeah. It's our podcast.
That's correct.
Matt.
That's correct.
Do you have any other points that we haven't covered yet?
Not really. Merry friggin' Christmas, everybody. I hope that you truly take the time to be with the people that you're going to be with, whether it's friends, families, dogs that are farting underneath you. It doesn't matter. Just make the most of that time. 'Tis the season.
Yep, I second that. Slow down, make some memories, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.